All right, you're live.
Okay. We call to order the October 13th Jackson County Board of County Commissioners meeting. If you will, please stand. And Commissioner Peacock will do the invocation, and then we'll do the pledge.
Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to gather together to conduct business on behalf of the citizens of Jackson County. Lord, we pray that you will keep your hand of protection over all of our citizens, protect them from this virus that's going around. We thank you that our fellow colleague, Commissioner Lockie, is back. We pray, Lord, that you will give us wisdom and guidance as we conduct this meeting so that everything we do will be for your honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Ms. Daniels, the agenda.
We have 4 additions under section 1. We have a request for board approval of a Comcast service agreement, a request for board approval of an MOA for the redesignation of the Northwest Rural Area of Opportunity, a request for board approval of an MOU with the City of Marianna for Project Sawcross, and a request for board approval to award District 3 asphalt paving project.
Okay, I got a question. Are we gonna put, where are we gonna put these in?
They
Right
will-
after each one?
They'll go at the very end of section 1.
Okay. Okay, do I hear a motion and a second to approve?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner Peacock, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0. Okay, consent agenda items. Has everybody had a chance to look at these? And do we have any questions or comments? So move it, Chairman.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Peacock. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0. Okay, item B.
This is a request for recognition of Mr. Edmund Garrett for the Employee of the Month program. I will read the proclamation and then I'll ask him to come forward. Whereas Jackson County has established an Employee of the Month program to recognize one employee to represent the various departments, and whereas Edmund Garrett began his employment with the county on May 19th, 2016 as an animal control officer and has been selected for the Employee of the Month for October 2020 for the standards that he has displayed in the performance of his job duties, and whereas Mr. Garrett is an exemplary employee who demonstrates professionalism in every task he faces, his loyalty and commitment to Jackson County are noticed and admired by many, and whereas Mr. Garrett is a dedicated employee that has single-handedly taken care of the needs of the Animal Control Department for the past few months and is always willing to go the extra mile to assist citizens, Mr. Garrett has also proven his commitment to the county by assisting with calls from the Sheriff's Department on nights and weekends. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Jackson County, Florida commends and congratulates Edmund Garrett on his selection as Employee of the Month for October 2020. If you'll come forward, Edmund. And while he's coming forward, I personally have had the opportunity to work with Edmund at Community Development. He was always a blessing to me and to staff, and we do sincerely appreciate you, Edmund.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we accept the nomination of Edmund Garrett as the Employee of the Month and authorize a $50 check and a paid day off. Edmund, I don't know that we really should give you that day off. I'm not so sure we can go do without you. He does a good job, and I really appreciate what you do. I get a lot of calls, and you take care of it, and I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Got a motion by Commissioner Peacock, second by Commissioner Lockie. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0.
Edmund, you're subject to be called out on that day off. No, you realize that.
Okay. At this time, we will have Mr. T.G. Hardriker come up and give us a COVID-19 update.
Good morning, everyone. Miss Martin sends her apologies. She had another engagement. She couldn't make it this morning, but currently we are recording 2,931 cases in Jackson County. Of those, 64 of those are active monitoring cases. The breakdown: 4 are school-aged children, 4 are correctional facility staff, 3 are long-term care facility staff, and 53 of those are in the community. Currently, the census at Jackson Hospital in the COVID unit is 11, with 1 on a ventilator. 10 of those come from the community, and 1 of those is an inmate from a correctional facility. We're showing 84 deaths associated with COVID-19 in Jackson County. School classroom attendance does not appear to be the spreading issue that we once thought it might be. We're seeing most of the school associated type things are through family contacts, sports teams, and social functions. It's important to note, while we are in phase 3, we've only been here for a couple of weeks. We have not seen a significant increase to date, but again, we've only been here for a couple of weeks, so we're monitoring that closely. We are currently testing on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the health department from 10 to 11 in the drive-through format. The testing demand seems to be down just a little bit, but we're monitoring that just to make sure that we can accommodate the needs if we need to. The other thing, it's flu season again. I just want to tell you that we have flu vaccinations available at the health department, and we do have the high dose available for those that are 65 and older. Have any questions?
Yes, sir.
What about these mosquitoes?
We're running the mosquito control program. We received a great number of complaints after the rain. We are accepting complaints, so if you guys have constituents that need us, please don't hesitate to call us. We're available. And
Those things are brutal.
we've been hearing that some of the largest ones that people have ever seen.
Is this a different species than?
Well, what happens?
But I think these have eaten the little one.
They may have.
They're bats.
We're seeing a lot of places that have been inundated with floodwaters have not been inundated in several months, and so we're getting a big hatch out. Hopefully, the cooler weather and being able to do some larviciding and adult siding will take care of some of that.
Are y'all going to do some aerial spraying?
We have some information. We have some requests in to the Department of Agriculture to do some of that. We're looking at some of the possibilities of that. We are at a different level of activation for Sally than we were for like Michael a couple of years ago. So the process is a little bit slower than that, but we're trying. We do have a mission request in, and we're working on the data to get that done.
District 5's Grand Ridge up through Malone.
I'm very, yes, sir. Thank you all very much.
Thank
No.
you.
We got it. Thank you all very much.
Both sides of the county. Thank you, TG. Okay, item D, Ms. Willann Daniels.
Yes, we have someone on the line, I believe on Zoom, that will be giving a presentation this morning from FWC. And this was regarding Merritt's Mill Pond.
While he's getting them online, did any of y'all get the opportunity to drive by the mill pond as they started lowering it? It was bad. It's worse than bad. They're not there.
Fred?
They're unmuted.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, this is Derek Fussell with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission's Invasive Plant Management Program. I believe Chris Paxton with our fisheries section, he's the regional biologist. He's on as well.
I don't know about Chris.
I see his name in here and he's unmuted, so he must be having technical difficulties on his end.
Okay. Well, Commissioner Peacock had met with me a few weeks ago and asked if there were any things that could be done about the vegetation on the mill pond. Currently, the only thing that we're treating.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Derek, there's Chris.
Okay. Like I was saying, the only thing that the invasive plant management section treats currently is water hyacinths on the mill pond. And based on the issue that Commissioner Peacock was discussing with me, what we propose or what we think would be beneficial would be a return to the 5-year drawdown cycle. It would help consolidate some of the muck along the perimeter of the mill pond and reduce some of the vegetation being exposed to possible freezing temperatures and drying periods. It probably wouldn't help anything in the main channel in the middle of the mill pond. And most of the vegetation that gets broken loose or released is from propellers from boats traversing up and down the mill pond. Then that vegetation gets consolidated within the cypress trees. And the issue is the smell and decomposition and algae growth off of the nutrients that are released from that vegetation.
Do you know what type of plants are in the mill pond?
Yes, sir. I have a complete survey. Predominantly, the vegetation that's getting broken loose is eelgrass and coontail.
What is the grass that's growing up to the surface and blocking everything?
The long strap-like leaf vegetation is eelgrass.
Now that's on the bottom. This is not the flat, long bladed stuff. This is more like a pine, more like the coontail or duckweed or whatever, or hydrilla.
Yeah, in my surveys during the last 7 years, there's not been any hydrilla on the mill pond. So predominantly there's two things that are submerged vegetations besides the eelgrass. You've got coontail and Nahas guadalupensis, which is southern naiad, is another submerged, thin-bladed, grassy kind of vegetation.
Is there any way to control those two?
Originally, carp were put into the mill pond for hydrilla control. Those carp have a 5 to 7 year lifespan where we get good growth and good use out of them. Both of those species, coontail and the Nahas, are in the preferred species for grass carp to eat. So if we ran that through my carp standing team for approval, there could be some benefit with light stockings of carp, but we would want to work with Chris and get some permits for removal maybe every 5 to 7 years so we could remove those really big carp when they're not doing any good for us.
So who has to apply for the permit in order to remove those carp?
We could work with Rhett, and we talked about doing a bow fishing rodeo. So it could be done through the county, applying with Chris.
Are there any chemicals that will control these weeds?
There are, but at this time, we're not willing to approve any chemical control in the entire mill pond of those species.
What about for the channel area?
Yeah, everybody that I've talked to above me in the chain of command and Chris, I'd have to go to some of our other sections for approval. But at this time, nobody else is wanting to approve a large-scale herbicide program for the mill pond.
Are they willing to approve mechanical removal?
That could be discussed. Well, Chris is texting me. He said he can hear me, but we can't hear him.
Do y'all have any funds to control this grass in the mill pond?
Not at this time. Our budget has been pretty severely cut. So mechanical would be one of the more expensive propositions for removing vegetation in the mill pond.
I'm afraid that the drawdown option is not going to be successful. I live on an old pond and it goes up and down, and just a few months after the water covers it, the grass is right back. So I'm afraid that we're wasting time with that option. But I'd love to sit down with whoever is saying that's the only option we have, and let's discuss other options.
Okay, we can do that.
Derek, what does the large carp eat?
They eat invertebrates that are in the root systems of the plants. That's why we tend to say they're kind of more like large pigs at this stage of their life. They're rooting around trying to get those macro invertebrates and stuff in the root systems. They actually root up plants and vegetation looking for those other food sources.
That don't control that? I mean, I don't know.
If you go look at the mill pond, the answer is no.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, I was just wondering what the large carp eat, if they wasn't beneficial to us.
My understanding that the larger, when the carp reaches maturity or
There's
the
some
larger,
bigger.
they don't eat as much anymore. Is that correct?
That's what they said, yes.
No, it's not correct.
It's not,
Okay.
looks like they'd eat more.
They eat the
Bigger.
invertebrates,
Yeah.
not the grass. Right?
Right.
Okay. Any more questions or comments?
What is it? Do they have a-
Do y'all have any plan to control the vegetation in the mill pond?
Currently, the only thing in the work plan is herbicide control on hyacinths, and it's in the work plan for Rhett to use our cutting device. It's a Hockney that cuts the eelgrass. He cuts that twice a year in the swim area at Blue Springs. And then in July, he cuts a trail, I think it's about 400 yards maybe, for the triathletes, for the swim path for that triathlon.
So we need to get together and develop a long-term plan for the mill pond. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Maybe, well, then maybe Rhett can set up a meeting with the appropriate authorities and let's get something going. We don't want the mill pond to become Lake Seminole, and it's closely approaching that.
Okay, any more questions, comments? Derek, do you have anything else?
No, sir. Not unless y'all have any questions for us.
No, so sounds like we'll be getting back with y'all, and we appreciate y'all being on the call today. Thank you,
All right.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay, next is item E, board, let's see, that would be Miss Sarah's son. I was about to read it and do it for you. No, not really.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm here to request board approval and chairman's signature for the chipotle contract for fiscal year 2021 between the sheriff's office, the board of county commissioners, and Chipotle College.
So move.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Peacock, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor, raise your right. Oh,
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I'll have to abstain because I'm employed by Chipotle College.
Okay. Good deal. Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Jeter. Chief Jeter.
Good morning. I'm here to request board approval for amendment of contract with Securus Technology to add the VRS system. VRS system is a system on our kiosk that enables the deaf and mute inmates to be able to communicate with their family and friends.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Peacock, second by Commissioner Lockie. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried, 5-0.
Cheater,
Thank you.
how is the deal working out with the phone service and all the other services they're providing?
With Securus Technology,
Yeah,
we got a good relationship with them.
everything's working well?
Yes, sir, everything's working well with them.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Christie Andreessen with TDC.
Good morning, board. My first request is board approval of sponsorship request for the Florida Bass Nation. They're requesting $5,300.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Peacock. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0.
Thank you.
Ms. Christie.
Second request, board approval of a digital marketing agreement with WSFL for a value of $9,000 for 6 months.
Okay,
I didn't get that.
sorry.
I didn't get that.
It's a digital
Advertising.
marketing agreement with WSFL. What is that? Is that a,
It'll be
Christie?
for, yeah, it'll be for Facebook advertising ads with the leads generation, meaning people will be served ads that will ask them to put their contact information in so that we can do more direct marketing to them. It'll go from November 1st, 2020 to April 30th, 2021. And it's going to target the specific demographic of 35 to 54-year-old individuals in Northwest Florida, Central Florida, and Central West Florida. Those are our top in-state travelers to Jackson County.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Christie, are you doing any tracking to see if we're getting any return on our investment on this advertising?
Yes, sir. So this one with the leads generation, that's the easiest type of ROI just for engagement. But then we also look at our BOCC reports to see where they come from geographically. We can get that information based on a metropolitan service area, MSA. And that's what we use to kind of target our ads when we do things just like this, where we pick Northwest Florida, Central Florida, and Central West, which are the top 3 for visitation to Jackson County, not only in the state, but in overall visitation to Jackson County.
Thank you.
Commissioner Spires.
Chairman, if I can just digress for just a second. Ms. Andreessen, some time ago, you mentioned there was an effort afoot to try to save the Welcome Center. Any progress in that regard?
Unfortunately, there's nothing new development-wise on that. FDOT has got some plans that they were working on to change the utilization of that center in light of COVID-19. And we are working with them to gain information and insight to the projects that they're planning for it, but we have not heard anything from them since August. I know they were doing kind of a discovery period for a couple of months and said they would reach out to us when they got ready for the next steps.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, back to item H. Do I
Mr.
hear-
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the request.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Peacock, second by Commissioner Spires. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0.
Thank you.
Yes.
Item I is board approval of an advertising agreement with Rova Magazine, valued at $2,750.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board? Y'all do remember, I mean, we're in our new budget. That's why we got all this advertising stuff going.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Spires. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you.
Last one, Ms. Christie.
Last one is board approval and chairman's signature on the updated crowd roof agreement. This one was approved in April, but we just need to update a new contract period for October 15th, 2020 through October 14th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
You got a motion by Commissioner Spires, second by Commissioner Peacock. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Christie.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good morning.
Okay. Item K, Joey.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, other members of the board.
Morning.
This morning I have a request for approval of the spectrum agreement for internet service for the Graceville Fire Station. So we're trying to get cable internet access and television to that new fire station in Graceville. Spectrum is the only provider that would provide cable. Our other option would be DSL. So I'm pitching Spectrum just for the bandwidth requirement that we would have for that location.
Chairman, move approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Spires, second by Commissioner Peacock. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you.
Joey, I got you, Chairman. I got a question. Joey, we approved during budget for, I think, up to 75 vehicles for GPS. Have we got, where are we at on that?
We have a meeting set up this week. I need to get with Scotty so they're going to demo a new product for us to try to see what, if we're okay with the services we were getting. They've got this new fleet upgrade that they want to show us some options on. So we're meeting with them shortly to go ahead and get that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Hunter. Hunter Potts. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 items.
Okay, good morning.
Okay.
The first item is the board approval of the lease agreement for the USDA Service Center at the Ag Extension Office. The previous lease ended earlier this year. So they're proposing a 3-year annual contract. Of the annual rent would be $400,000.96. That's the same as the year prior, so this would be an extension for 3 years. So the motion is to approve the request.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Spires. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0.
Great.
Yes.
The next item is item N. It's board approval to reject the bids for RFP 192033 fiber optic line. We originally we only received one responsive bid. So as is a FEMA project, we need at least 2 to be a competitive bid process. So we want to reject the bid and then re-advertise.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Peacock, second by Commissioner Spires. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0.
So the next one is to board review of our CDBG-DR project applications. So DEO is accepting applications for the first round of Hurricane Michael disaster recovery funding through their general infrastructure repair program. There's a total of $111.5 million available, and we can submit 5 projects. And so to give you a quick rundown of those projects, we have Julie Dennis with Ovis Solutions to run through that.
That's page 150 and 151.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
ya?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. All right. So first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to work with Jackson County on submitting community development block grant disaster recovery projects forward. I know that this is a big amount of money coming forward for Jackson County, and we're going to do our very best job to make sure that we can be successful with those grant applications. So there is a total of $111 million available for this first round of funding. There will also be a second round of funding of equal value, but that's coming a little bit later in the process. We don't have a date on that yet. For this first round, we could submit up to 5 projects. You'll notice on your list here that you have 7. The reason we're doing 7 is because we know there's going to be a second round and we want to be over prepared. So if for some reason something falls off the list, we have something that's ready to go and we're not missing out on any opportunities for Jackson County. So the ones that you'll see here first, we've got 3 projects that are related to the Endeavor site. That's the Endeavor Electrical Utilities, Endeavor Structure and Steam Tunnel Demolition, and then the Endeavor Event Center / Shelter. So that's turning the gym into more of a conference facility. The next projects that you'll see on the list, you'll see number 4 is broadband for low and moderate areas, and that's going to be your first phase of that, your middle mile phase. We have the communications tower at the sheriff's office. The county ag center, building some new barns there at the county ag center, and then roof repairs for the correctional facility. We have these listed in order of priority right now as we understand them. And so assuming that, that none fall off the list, the first 5 would move forward and we would reserve the second 2 for the second round of funding. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you got, do we know how many projects going to be available on the second round? There's 5 on the first one, the same amount of money is going to be implemented for the next one. So there's only 2 others. Should we not have 3 more on this one for the next round?
Yes, sir, we will. So by the time the next round of applications comes up, we'll have 3 more projects that we'll be working with staff to develop.
Okay.
So what's the total amount of this?
A lot.
This right now is, and really, I
These
should-
requests?
yes, right. So right now, and I should point out that some of these prices are going to go up. For example, the event center, we feel is probably underestimated right now. That's probably likely to double or triple. I'd estimate that the value of what we're submitting forward is in the tune of $15 million.
Number
Where'd
2.
you find that?
Number 2, $3
Yes, sir.
million to demolish, the steam tunnels. $3 million.
We're working, so we're working with Melvin Engineering, who will help us to get an estimate underneath that. But as we understand it, there's a network of miles of steam tunnels that run underneath this property. And so the removal of that, which also involves asbestos remediation, will probably be high.
It was a key
Yeah,
word.
I think that will be less, I would guess. So on the existing south campus, we're at 1.4 million, got $500,000 worth of steam tunnels left in the south campus. If we do the north campus, that'll probably be around $1.5 million. So I think the total thing will probably be $2 million.
Well, can we seal them off and leave them?
Well, you can,
I don't know that anybody up here really knows about them steam tunnels or what they do. Oh, I know that's what they do, but
so we did that, this, the survey on the steam tunnel, probable asbestos in there. So the one thought, yeah, you can seal them off, but then you've always got to say, be careful when you go to build anything under there, there's asbestos. Be careful when you go, the easiest things, get rid of it.
Get rid of the problem.
Yeah, especially if we can get this funding to do it. And what this funding does too, is we go ahead and move over to the north campus and do all the demo that we planning on there. So I think this will be more in the south campus was 1.4 million, the demo, everything except the steam tunnels. I think the north, we're finalizing the estimates, about the same number of buildings on the north campus, so I think it'll be about 1.4 million. But we probably, we know we got 500,000 steam tunnels on the south side. Right. My guess is we have about $400,000 steam tunnels on the north side.
okay, well, that was a question there. Go ahead. Was this
How
on
big are
steam
these
tunnels?
tunnels?
How big are they?
Yeah.
They're about 5 foot deep and about 2 or 3 feet wide. Brick steam tunnels.
How far under the ground are they
Well,
running?
some of them are on top, some of them, if you think you're on the sidewalk, that's the top of the tunnel.
That's what I said. I don't think all of us know exactly about
I'll
those
be
things.
glad to take you out and show you, but they're.
I've seen
I mean, I've been all over them, but,
Yeah.
to know exactly where they all go.
They've got the problem asbestos in them, and so you can leave them, but then anytime you go to build something there, you're like, oh, my goodness, we got asbestos out here, so.
Mr. Hill.
Yeah. On the projects we've looked at before, we just talked a couple of years ago on the regional stormwater project. Is that still viable? I know one time we looked at, kind of on that west side of the campus or off of there as a stormwater regional, and also solar. Is that 2 things that's being talked about? Because I hadn't seen any of these.
Yeah, stormwater we're looking at with as a city application, and a couple of things that
Okay,
we're doing,
cities under that.
that save us, the county applications is, the way they're setting up these grants is if you're doing one activity, like water, that it can be kind of citywide. If you're doing one activity sewer, it can be citywide. Well, the city is applying for citywide.
Okay, good.
Water and it's citywide sewer. So we put an endeavor citywide water into the citywide one and the sewer into the city one. So that it freed up 2 applications. for the
So can we put
county.
solar in one of those for solar enough? We've talked many times
No,
about,
we don't have the solar in,
I mean, maybe the next phase.
yeah.
We're not saying that because that's obviously one of the big regional things that we want to do, support that.
That's a good thought.
So we still
We got the stormwater in the city, the water and sewer covered in the city application, so that.
I mean, the bill, to me, again, we've already got some of the largest consumers of energy out there, been the sheriff's office and also the correctional facility out there. If we could capture that plus any future growth and have a solar system out there that we can offer businesses that come in as an offset, like, I think, what's the project there at the airport that old Unimac's got, like $60-some thousand a year savings to the building?
Here's a challenge in this application. There's 110 or 20 points total, and everybody will get most of the points, except the only activities that they give you points for is water, stormwater, sewer, or shelter. So you're gonna drop 20 points for any activity that's not water, sewer. So our demolition won't get those 20 points. You know, your tower at the sheriff's department, your roof won't get those 20 points. Now, whether that keeps them competitive or not.
So they're directing the money kind of how they want it to go, right? Is that what they're doing? They're setting up the point system so that it kind of directs you the way they want you to spend the money?
Yeah. Usually they give a list of things and score them on different points, but so you get none of those 20 points if you're doing a road project, none of those 20 points if you're doing anything other than water, sewer, stormwater, and then you get 10 points if you're doing a shelter. Anything else you're doing, you get 0 points in that category.
I would say, yes, that is accurate, but there are a couple of other things that we look at for Jackson County. So we are a rural area of opportunity, so you're going to get some extra points for that. The Endeavor site is in a low to moderate income area, and so you're going to get more points based on that too. So we are keeping, we were fortunate in with the city of Marianna stepping up to agree to take on the water and the sewer so that we could maximize opportunities for Jackson County. So while we won't be getting those specific points because we don't have projects for that, I still think we have some good projects to move forward that will be worth it.
Back to the water and sewer though, we're still relying on the city of Marianna. They're just gonna upgrade theirs, right?
Yeah, well.
So
Yeah,
we
out
still don't
there,
have a
there's
facility.
really no, there's some, about half the sewer on the south campus is okay. About half of it needs to be new sewer, and we got one water line that runs to the sheriff's department. All the rest of
But
the
I
water
guess
lines need to be.
it'll be better for Endeavor, but the county still won't have water and sewer.
Out there. No, it'll all be a city system that it was going to be out there, but saves you on that. But like Julie's saying, one nice thing is it's in a low and moderate income area out there. I mean, kind of a challenge working with Sneed's. Sneed's, eye of the hurricane, has 0 LMI areas in their community. So in some ways, they're not eligible for this program. But we're trying to work on a way of getting around that. But so you're very fortunate to, like Julie was saying, that this fell in a low and moderate income area.
I think another thing that is going to make a lot of these Endeavor projects stand out is the fact that the goal of this program is to address repair needs first. There are not a lot of repair needs for infrastructure statewide because that's what your FEMA public assistance program is designed to do. Since these projects were not recipients of the FEMA public assistance funding, it makes them a very good fit and a very good candidate for CDBG-DR.
Mr. Peacock.
So out of the 111 million, how much are we asking for this time?
I would say the range is between 13 to 15 million. We are working right now on
Is it
finalizing.
111 million for the state or
It's 111 million for the Hurricane Michael impacted areas.
the entire area?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. But this is the first of
So
2
we're in
rounds of funding.
competition with Bay, Washington Homes, Gadsden,
Gulf, all of
Gulf, yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay.
You know, item, 7. I mean, we've been talking about replacing that roof at the jail for a couple of years. And,
longer, yeah.
and it's not in the top 5. Does it need to be? And if that's the case, what do you bump out to put that in there? Maybe it's not that bad.
Well, can we get a list of things, Mr. Chairman, on this same thing? Can we get a list of the commissioners of things, the projects that, like you're saying, that may qualify so we can look at them? Because I mean, I don't even know what to pull from.
So this is what we brought y'all a couple months ago. We brought that spreadsheet, and this is what we basically said. Y'all sent us away with 7, I think, Josh.
Okay, these are those 6.
So that's what we used to then go to Julie and
Okay.
say, help us identify what would be most likely to be funded
Right.
based on y'all's priorities. So she kind of helped us sort through what she felt like was, a viable project. As far as the jail roof, we could put that in the top 5 this round, but just remember, all of these will be submitted, just not this round. But if y'all want the jail to be submitted this round, we could.
I don't know.
Didn't we get insurance for the roof
I don't know.
on the
I
jail?
mean, we
We got
requested,
some insurance.
2 years ago, we done a plan, didn't we, to do parts of the
Right.
jail? And I don't know that we've done any.
We
parts.
financed, we put it in the budget.
Currently, for insurance, you got about $112,000 and a potential to recoup about another 180 if you do all the repairs where they say, which is also the full roof replacement. So we would tie in the disaster funds with the insurance, and then it's also a FEMA PA project, but right now the scopes aren't matching up, so we'd have to go back to them and say we want to do repairs and see if they'd be eligible. But right now we have just the roughly $112,000 from insurance plus what we recoup from fixing it.
I mean, how bad is it? I mean,
It needs a full roof replacement.
but how bad? I mean, is it
How much
leaking
is that gonna
buckets
be?
every day?
It's leaking actively, yes, whenever it rains.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you don't do something and it doesn't get funded and even in your next go around,
We're worse.
you're still looking at a budgeted item.
And yeah. But we don't have nothing in our budget for this year to, roof replacement.
You're gonna wind up with a little bit of your $2 million loan left that we could put towards that. You're gonna vote today to close out the fire station, which is what we use the majority of that money for. Once we get that all filled out, then
I mean, I don't.
back a figure that you could add to what he's saying, insurance.
I don't know which one to remove or if we want to, but I thought that was.
I would say if
big
you were going to
deal.
move something off the first 5, I would probably move the communications tower down to the next round and go with the jail first, if you were inclined to do
But
that.
what is the chances, is the communication tower got, better chances than the roof?
Yes, we're waiting on DEO to get back with us on that to see. We told them our applications and our projects, and so we're just waiting on them for the best direction of which ones are going to be most likely to be funded.
I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know if y'all.
Yeah, no, that's.
I don't know.
Well, the jail's gonna be a constant problem. Like I said, it's actively leaking. It's got liabilities to 200 plus residents there. I mean, it compounds itself when it goes I'm not saying unattended because I'm sure it's being attended to, but it's still a liability aspect to us.
So, Mr. Chairman, how long do you expect the top 5 you have to come to a timeline to getting it all from what you're doing the submission to actually getting paid for it?
So the next big milestone in this project or in this effort is on November 30th. We'll need to submit these grant applications to the state. It'll likely be another, I would say the spring at the earliest before you get an actual thumbs up or thumbs down from the state. And then beyond that, it will be dependent upon the project itself as to how long the construction would take.
Construction, we know it'll take a while. Just getting to that point is our concerns because we've waited
But
years.
the
on
longer you
things.
put off that roof at that jail, the worse it's gonna be. We've already, is Jeter still here? Is he gone?
No, but I talked to Jeter about the roof prior to, so yeah, we know that it needs a replacement pretty bad.
You say it's leaking,
That's
how
a high
bad?
priority.
So they had to put buckets underneath
That
the whole
communication
catch the
tower.
water. So
And this has been going on since the hurricane.
Yes.
No,
before the
before the
hurricane.
hurricane.
Oh, yeah, leaking before, yeah.
Yeah, I said 2 years ago,
Yeah,
but it's
2
been
years ago
before
when we
the
addressed
hurricane.
it. 'cause
Yeah, we have reports, the thermal imaging report of before the hurricane and after the hurricane. You already can see the damage that it's, the areas that are affected have gotten larger, so.
So I would recommend we move the jail to number 5 and put the communications tower in the next round.
Do we have a time frame on the next one? We don't have a clue. Could that be 2022 by the time we're in the second round of?
No, sir, we don't have a timeline on that. However, the state is under a tremendous amount of pressure from the federal government to spend this money quickly. And so we've seen them acting fairly quick. So I would guess, if I had to put a guess on it, I would say early 2021.
Yeah, I would say that if they get enough pressure, they would move this to $123 million, $223 million and make you have 10 projects apiece, but also to divide them up in 2 different time segments. So, okay, that sounds good.
Yes, sir.
I think we need to do the motion.
Consensus, or do we need to motion to accept these?
No, you need to modify
You need
it.
to modify it.
You modify it?
Is that your motion?
Is that what you'll need us to say, okay, this is what
Yeah,
we want
a
to do?
motion would be nice.
Mr. Chairman, Bocc, is that your motion?
A motion would be to take the item number 7, the jail roof repair, and insert it to number 5 and have number
Second.
5 go to number 7.
Okay. Got a motion by Commissioner Lockie, second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 5-0.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last item here, it's requesting board approval to set a special meeting on November 10th, Tuesday at 10 a.m. to discuss Jackson County Broadband Action Team, and also to have a presentation by Ms. Wendy Schlesinger to discuss accessory dwelling units and bring you guys up to speed on those challenges.
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Spires to set a special meeting
Yes.
on November the 10th at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0. Thank you, Hunter. Okay. Chief Bruner. And you got full 5.
And good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, before I get started with my items, I just want to publicly recognize that my department is fully staffed now. It's been a long time coming. I think it's been a little over 10 years. And I just want to say I appreciate the help and support of all 5 commissioners, as well as our administrator, our HR department, our deputy administrator. Without your unwavering support, it could not happen. Your support of not only the department itself, but the employees and the actions that the board has taken has really helped this department move forward in the right direction. So I just want to thank all 5 of you personally for your support and help for that. And it's really made a difference in our response and to our citizens in the county. First item, item P, is board approval to purchase 2 Dodge ambulance chassis off the Florida Sheriff's contract for the upcoming ambulance remounts.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Peacock. Any discussion? Questions?
These are things we budgeted for, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct, out of capital outlay.
Can you just lump them together? They're all budgeted items.
Oh.
I know, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is there a motion and a second?
We have
Yeah.
a motion and a second.
I know these are for Dodges.
Yes, sir.
You know, we periodically, you get the Fords, you get the, whatever's on state
Right.
contract, or the Dodges.
So we've
Go ahead,
had
Doug.
less maintenance issues with the Dodges, especially with these trucks that now that have the DEF systems on them. We have Dodge ambulances now that are approaching, one that's approaching 100,000 miles that we've had 0 issues with. And so we've kept our fingers crossed the entire time.
Yeah, the deaf issues, that's a big problem.
Very big problem. We have 2 Fords that are in the fleet that when they were in their 30,000 mile range, they both had to come off the road for DEF system issues that took them off the road for at least a month at a time. So they were under warranty, but it's still taking it off the road. It's not able to.
Okay. We got a item P, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay.
Chief, can we do Q and R together, or would that cause a problem?
Well, P and Q probably could have been done together,
Well, but we didn't.
but we didn't. So,
Okay, well, if we need to do both, okay, let's do them separate. Okay.
yeah, R is
tried.
R is off of the FEMA grant, but
Okay.
Q is board approval to purchase 2 ambulance remounts from Fraser off the Houston Galveston contract for fiscal year 2021, and that is off of capital outlay that was budgeted.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Spires, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 5-0. Okay.
Item R, this is board approval to purchase 7 striker power load systems with related accessories off the SAVIC contract. And funding for this is coming from the 2020 FEMA AFG grant that we were awarded a couple months ago.
We got motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Lockie. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0. Okay, item S.
And item S is the last, is board approval of final payment and closeout to GAC contractors for the construction of the new station 22 on Commercial Park Drive.
They're through.
They're through.
Are y'all in it?
No, sir, we're awaiting Comcast services.
Second.
So,
Okay. Any more questions? Well, we got a motion by Commissioner
Second.
Spires, you,
Okay, that's fine.
and second by Commissioner Hill. Any more discussion?
So when do you think you're going to move in?
we're working with IT. They're contacting, they've had a meeting with Comcast to get services installed there. And
And
now,
it's on today's agenda also.
and they're also working with CenturyLink to get
Whoa, wait a
telephone
minute.
internet.
Joey, what's going on?
All right.
On them hand signal.
So Comcast came back with a build out to that area that was way too high that they will not incorporate into an agreement. So we've had to kind of nix that and try to go with CenturyLink for service. We're trying to come up with something a little bit better than DSL, but Comcast will not run to that location. They wanted $25,000 to build out to that location, and they won't roll that into an agreement. So it doesn't justify the cost for them. So we've got to come up with something different.
So with time frame?
I've reached out to CenturyLink. I'm waiting to hear back from them just to get them service, maybe to get them started. But we've got to come up with something better than DSL for them. So we're working that angle. But Comcast is that's a no-go for that location.
So you have to have this before you move in.
Yes, sir.
To upload reports, I mean,
Total
just for
communication,
business.
pretty much.
Yeah, total communication. But the server.
Okay, any more questions, comments? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief Bruner. Okay, item T, Mr. Scotty Taylor.
I will present his
Okay, I
item.
know he had something else going on.
So this is a request for board approval to award 1920 Engineering 04 District 1 chip seal and asphalt paving project to the lowest bidder. This is to Baxter's Asphalt, and this is specifically for 2 roads. It's Bump Nose and Valley Oaks. And the request is to consider board approval from District 1 funds.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner Lockie, second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Yes.
The contract, the bid amount says $2,227,000.
Yeah, but
The total amount for those 2 roads is $1,187,603.50 for those 2 roads specifically.
Thank you.
They incorporated additional roads to see what that total amount would be, but after meeting, I believe, with Dr. Spires, that was what was selected based on the budget.
Okay. You got a motion by Commissioner Spires?
Oh,
We did.
Okay.
All right,
Sorry.
Dr. Spires, you trying to take me down a dirt road I ain't supposed to go down.
I was going to add another dirt road.
Oh, okay.
You want
You got a motion by Commissioner Lockie, second by Commissioner Hill, right?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 5-0. We struggled, didn't we? We got through it.
And Miss Daniel, you said 1,187,000, what you said? And
Yes, $603.50.
thank you, ma'am.
You counting them pennies? Okay, item, U would be Miss Danielle.
I need board authorization to pay the annual CRA assessment to the city of Mariana.
Got a motion by Commissioner Lockie, second by Commissioner Peacock. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0. Okay. Ms. Tidwell, item V.
I'll take this one also. This
Oh,
is
she
a
ain't in
request
here.
for board approval of change order 2 for Howe's Landing. This is a requirement of the grant to install a new floating section of dock that we were not going to do, but in order to fulfill the grant agreement, we have to do it for $29,581.50, and this will be out of vessel registration fund.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay. We got a motion by Commissioner Peacock, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Sir?
So we didn't know we don't have to do this at the time of the grant?
I think it was in there. I'm not sure what happened, but Rhett just said that in order for them to pay the grant, we had to do this.
Okay.
I don't know if he
Oh,
just
that's-
missed it.
all right,
or
no, that's fine. I
confusion,
didn't know if
but-
they didn't send
He
it to
thought
us.
they were in agreement because it was so expensive to do the dock. He thought he could remove the dock, and then she came back and said no.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I just didn't know if they didn't. All right.
Okay, Ms. Daniels, item W.
This is a request for board approval of work authorization number 1 for CEI services for Endeavor site demolition, and just requesting board authorization for this to go to Melvin Engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Lockie, second by Commissioner Peacock. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, motion carried 5-0. Okay, Ms. Daniels.
The next item is requesting board authorization for the chairman to sign a letter to our representative, Senator Scott and Congressman Dunn, requesting a CARES funding extension on behalf of Jackson County.
Second.
I got a motion by Commissioner Spires, second by Commissioner Hill. Yes,
Shouldn't you add Senator Rubio
Rubio.
to the list?
yes.
Sure, we'll add that also.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0.
That's, Mr. Chairman, that's
Yes.
a pretty hard date, though, the end of the year. I understand that they're pretty well want that wrapped up, and I think, good luck with the extension, but I don't believe that might happen.
So FACT is just recommending that we all send letters requesting it.
Congressman Dunn said that they thought it would move.
Really?
We needed to. That's a hard number to
It's
catch.
hard to spend on that.
Hard to
Yeah.
spend, hard to deliver on.
Turn it over to TDC, and they can spend it.
Turn what?
Turn those TDC. You didn't have
I
to
don't
do
think
that.
that's eligible.
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to do
One
that.
more week, huh?
That was a kind compliment.
That was a kind of, okay. Okay, item Y.
I'm
right?
requesting board direction on meeting dates for November and December so that we can start planning when we need to project our projects. Normally, I'll do 1 meeting per month. If you'd like to stay consistent with that, recommending that you move your November date to November 17th and your December date to December 15th.
If we, Mr. Chairman, if we do that, we already got one scheduled for November 10th.
Well, we did that in light of this. That'll be a special meeting.
Right.
You can go ahead and
that's-
keep it, but go ahead, Daniel.
We've also had the swearing in of the new commissioners on the 17th. That's the mandatory date, can't change it.
Right. Okay.
So I think if you did it on the 17th.
Y'all will be able to come on the November 10th, right?
So what?
Y'all be here on November 10th.
I may not be.
No, you always said, we're discussing that later, but y'all be able to come on November 10th. Let's just leave it November 10th is when I make a motion.
So we'll be here the 10th and the 17th.
10th, 7th.
We got a motion to leave it on
And that
November
will
the
be our
10th.
2 meetings for November.
So you're going to keep a regular meeting on the 10th at 9, your special meeting immediately following at 10.
I was suggesting a special meeting for the 10th.
Okay.
The 17th, we'll do our regular, meeting,
Regular
unless
meeting.
y'all want different. You want to do the 17th?
Do we need,
That was what I was recommending, what you just said.
Oh,
Y'all do
I was
what you want.
lost.
I'm riding off in the sunset.
So just for clarification, the 10th would be a
I'll be on
special
your
meeting
back.
at 10.
He's
The
gonna be on the back.
17th would be your one regular meeting for the month of November at 9 o'clock. Is that what you were saying, Commissioner Hill?
I think it's just through the second. I want them there one more time. So my
I'll be
motion to
hard
be,
to
we have
find.
our regular scheduled meeting and the special meeting on the 10th, and we'll be
Okay.
swearing in on the 17th.
Ooh,
Special meeting at 10.
Yeah, that's on the 10th. That's my motion.
you ain't riding out yet.
Yep. 26th and the 10th.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
We'll let you do
let's
Zoom.
clarify this. The motion, which we don't have a second on, right?
I second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to have the
Special
regular
meeting.
meeting
And the special meeting.
and the special meeting.
on the 10th.
We don't have to worry about that.
You've already set your special meeting, your regular meeting is the 10th. So
Okay.
you don't have to vote on that.
Oh, okay,
Now
that's-
you need to vote to set the 17th.
Yeah,
as
that's fine.
a
Yeah.
Special meeting. Because
Right.
we have to
Okay.
wait till the next meeting, whatever you want to do.
Well, you withdraw your
Yeah,
motion,
I'll withdraw that.
And who was-
Make it fit that.
and you too. With your second.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start over. I'd like to entertain a motion to schedule a special meeting for the 17th for swearing in.
That's right.
Will you
Yes.
make that motion? Okay. Motion by
Second.
Hill, second by Peacock. Any more discussion?
Yes. So we earlier scheduled a special meeting on the 10th.
Yes.
We're gonna do it after
It'll
the
be
At
nine,
10
regular.
o'clock, just right after our meeting.
In the middle
That's
of the
still
meeting.
good.
Yeah, everything be good there. It's
All
just
right.
a
And my
special
motion includes they must be here present.
Okay.
before they ride off.
Before they
I'll
ride
be
on.
on Rocky back.
Yeah, you gonna be riding off, he's gonna be on your back.
My wife has some issues and I may have to be at the doctor.
Yes, we would understand.
If you can.
Now,
Okay, we got a motion and a second, yes, before we
What
ride.
about this building? Do we need to talk about moving it?
We're working. it
moving
out.
the building?
Moving the meeting because of the alteration.
We should still be good, but I mean, it'll just be something we have to let them know that we'll be relocating it if that happens because of construction.
Well, they're not gonna be in here, right?
Right, but there may be a point in time, depending on flooring, as we coordinate through that, we may have to go somewhere else, but we should be good for the next meeting or two.
We got them to be quiet today, didn't we? While our meeting's going? Or they just being quiet?
You're hard at work.
Okay, we got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, December, do y'all want to have one meeting in the middle of the month?
Or do we wanna have it on the 8th? Is that a conflict? I hear.
Earlier the better, and generally speaking, earlier the
Yeah.
better in that
Yeah.
month.
Let's just do,
Yes, sir.
Would we be on, what time are we having the meeting on the 17th?
The daytime.
I didn't think about it, you didn't say it.
On the 17th, let's just do regular
Day.
morning meeting.
9 o'clock?
You need
both
that
of
in
them
the
9
motion?
o'clock, right?
You need that in the
Or 10
motion
o'clock
to
for
make
the
sure?
other.
Or you just need
We'll
consensus?
just put back.
Yeah,
Y'all just tell us when to be here.
just remind us.
So on the 8th of December, that's our regular scheduled meeting?
Yes.
I just say we keep it there, Chair. Make a motion to do.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to keep our December meeting on December the 8th at 9 o'clock. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 5-0. Okay? Okay, item Z.
This is a request for board direction on phase 3 for Jackson County per the governor's directive, which is attached. And so we just are starting to get questions on whether we're reopening rentals and what we're going to do about that kind of thing. My recommendation is that we reopen with obvious, advisement in place, cautions on the doors and things like that, like you're seeing at most places. But that, my recommendation is to reopen based on the governor's phase 3 guidelines.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Peacock. Mr. Lockie.
Does that include, William, the governor, DeSantis rescinded the emergency thing and requiring meetings effective in November 1, you'll have to start meeting in the general public and start.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. So starting in November, we will be back in here as normal.
What about October?
No,
November.
it went to the end of October.
Yeah, that's what he says. He says you can have, yes.
So we are expecting the governor will not extend the existing executive order. The executive order only relates to your attendance in person. So you have to have 3 commissioners here in person in the room. But otherwise, you can still utilize technology as long as you as a board approve that. So you can still have meetings by Zoom, but you all have to be here in person.
Well, I say we all be here.
Yeah, I'm good.
So,
So then I guess it's 2 questions. One, sounds like y'all are comfortable with the rentals, but then the second question is, do you all, starting in November, want to open the meeting back to the normal public, or do you want to continue with a mixture of technology or only technology?
Check with FAC and see what they're saying about it.
Yeah.
didn't the governor open up stadiums for
I mean,
full
we're open.
use?
Well, this is, yeah, Mr. Chairman, and this is my opinion. If we're opening up our rental center with precautionary, I just say we just let the public come back to the meeting. I mean,
No, ma'am, we can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, being an attorney, being risk averse, I would recommend that you continue to allow Zoom or some other remote participation for members of the public.
Oh, yeah.
But
But we also allow the public to come here if they want. It's my suggestion. If they want to come, they can come, take precautionary measures if they want, but we still need to allow Zoom in conjunction with that.
yes, I think you're okay doing
That's
that.
right. That way, but if the public wants to come, I'm fine with that personally. That's my motion.
Just
Plan
law.
is-
Exactly.
Yeah, we just,
So we gonna grant the,
If you look under local government meetings, it said these meetings should return to in-person quorum and public participation
That's what I
for
just,
local government bodies.
that's what
I just told you.
and I refer to, so do we even need?
okay, let's back up. No. Got a motion to,
Let them entangle. Public and Zoom, same time.
I agree.
If you want to come. If you want to do it by Zoom, take precautionary measures and show up, bells and whistles.
but in other words, we're open, but you can get on Zoom and watch.
Mr. Chairman, I think this Zoom process should continue until there is a lack of participation. And then we advertise that, due to a lack
We
of
got a
participation,
motion.
it's going away.
And a second, any more discussion? So we're gonna be live, in person, and on Zoom.
Right.
Okay? Any
As of
issues?
November 8th is what, I mean, for the board meetings.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But rentals, are y'all comfortable with proceeding? Okay.
Well, we discussed this at FAC the other day, that there's some liability. I mean, when you start doing that, is there some responsibility that the public will have?
As far
Gotta
as,
go.
talking about wearing stuff and,
We're following the social distancing and
oh, yeah.
masks and whatnot.
Yeah, whatever the governor's order is follow that social distance guidelines based upon that thing that's still enacted, sure.
Okay, anything else?
We can also add a waiver to the current rental agreements that's specific to the novel coronavirus, asking the individuals that seek to rent the facilities, that they be responsible for ensuring that social distancing and
Good idea.
masks and those sort of things are followed. I don't know that you can get event insurance that specifically covers the coronavirus, but
you know, I don't know that you can, I don't know that that exists.
Well,
Yeah,
just
but-
add a piece of paper when they go to sign it out, just sign the thing that they're responsible
Yeah.
for
I
going
got
by
a
CDC.
got a question.
I know it might
Michelle,
not be.
I was
We
at
can
a,
try.
Yeah, we can try.
Michelle, I was at a football game for homecoming in Sneeds the other night, and there had to be a couple of thousand people there.
Yeah.
Where would I mean, do they have a waiver, you think? I mean, I don't,
No,
okay, I just didn't
No.
wonder if there was,
You go on your own
someone else is
risk.
doing this,
Not
I didn't know if we
making
could
it.
check with them.
They have a sign that says enter at your own risk.
yeah.
Swimming-
And though we probably should put some signage out on the facilities before we reopen to the public that just says that, enter at your own risk. The county's not responsible for, you
And
know,
our buildings
your
here
safety,
too,
but
construction and COVID. Huh? What I told him?
Wouldn't you?
Absolutely. The dress match.
Yeah, y'all didn't need to hear all that. Okay, we got a motion and a second. The motion was by Commissioner Hill and second by Spires, I think. Yes, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried. So that gets us, we're wide open. We're wide open. Okay? Okay, item AA. That would be Joey.
Morning again.
Morning again.
All right, so this is, I'm requesting board approval of Comcast service agreements for Parks and Recycling and the Malone Fire Station. So again, the Parks and Recycling has had a lot of issues with their DSL. I think they're running around a 5 meg DSL for that location. It's not adequate for the needs that they have there, and plus our project of connecting them back through this building, we're gonna need higher bandwidth for that. And then the Malone Station, the town of Malone offered DSL, but when we went out there and ran a speed test, they got like 0.3 down, which is not gonna, that's not gonna satisfy their needs. So we've got Comcast agreements for both of those locations. I've noticed on this first one for Wiley Drive that they made the billing location the Malone Fire Station. So I'd like to make that approval contingent on getting this agreement fixed.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Peacock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joey, I do have one quick, Mr. Chairman, for
Yes.
you mentioned a $25,000 build-out charge a while ago to get to our fire station from Comcast, right?
The new, yeah, the
new
business office.
The business office. All right, so that's quite expensive. I realize that, but would that also bring internet to that whole area there potentially?
Yes, anything they run from that road. From my understanding, what they quoted out was coming down, coming from 71, is that? Yep.
And again, I'm not suggesting maybe staff look at it, but what I'm saying is if 25,000 to get our $2-point-something million building in operation, we don't know a time frame on when that could transact if we go somewhere different, right?
Well, my idea was to check with CenturyLink and try to do a month-to-month service while we explore options like that, but I can certainly look, keep up with Comcast on that.
Is it worth $25,000 to get how many businesses out there high-speed internet?
They might be
That
interested.
ability.
Well, is it DSL or fiber?
The alternate option,
The one you're talking about running off of 71?
that would be cable from Comcast. So coaxial.
DSL.
No, cable, coaxial.
Okay.
Also, ain't the fastest stuff.
No,
No,
fiber's
DSL
obviously your
is fast,
fastest. Cable's a nice medium for the price, and then DSL, we're finding as time moves along that it's not adequate to service a lot of these locations. Especially with that location having the business office also incorporated with having it staffed full-time.
So you're saying cable is the best suggestion for this medium?
It's, for a lot of our locations, that middle ground is where we live. Because fiber, we're priced out of that in most locations. Cable falls nicely in the middle.
It meets our needs. Okay.
Yeah, but also I can certainly keep up with them and look into it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but we also,
25,000 a lot of money, but if we're out there, you know, and offering to other businesses, maybe that.
Them other businesses and
May
then
want to
and then-
participate.
They want to join, yeah, exactly. They all kind of
and
go down there to them. I think Bob Forey's back out there. His office is out there now, isn't it? One of the
All
small
right.
offices.
but he owns all that.
Close off of 71.
He owns all that land that it make
The laundry
possibly that
service.
land easier to sell.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, it also helps the businesses there, and I don't know what the other cost analysis would be through any of the other things to bring it out there, but if you can bring out it for 25,000, maybe we can check, have staff check with the businesses locally, see if they want to do a participation or something, and, see if we can make that happen.
Sure, I can reach out and get back with the Comcast
Sounds
representative.
good, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Daniels?
This is a request for board approval of a memorandum of agreement for the designation of the Northwest Rural Area of Opportunity. This is something that we have to renew periodically. There's no financial commitment, but if we don't do it, then we lose the designation.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Lockie. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0. Okay,
The next item is a request for board approval of an MOU with the city of Marianna for Project Sawcross. This is a non-binding understanding of expectations, requirements, and obligations that may develop as this project moves
Second.
forward.
got a motion by Commissioner Lockie and a second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried. Okay, is Scotty back on, or are you? gonna get-
I'll do this one also.
Okay.
I don't mind doing it.
Oh, go ahead, please.
A few meetings ago, the board authorized to go out and bid for some roads, or the bids came in at $1,088,000. All those funds would come out of District 3. And I've scraped, and I've got with Danielle, and we scraped and looked and found trying to put together the most money I can. And I'm going to be about $113,000 short, but I think with some cuts that Scotty and I can talk about, that if I could just get $100,000 out of the construction fund that I've never tapped before.
A motion.
Are you paving what have you got, 2 or 3 miles of dirt road in your district? Are you paving those out of this?
Don't give me credit for that much, no. These are actually resurfacing projects to, it's going to improve the road in District 3, so that you won't have to come back and, since the majority of the roads and the road construction money is used in the 4 districts. So, and I'm cognizant of the fact that I've always tried to use District 3 funds that have been allocated to District 3 over the years without going into the road construction of the 1 cent because I know that y'all had those needs too, but I'm about $100,000 short. So if I could get authorization to award that bid and use all District 3 available funds and the $100,000 from the.
Which possibly might not be that much.
It may not be, but it would, at minimum, $100,000.
I second it.
Okay, who made the motion?
He made the
You
motion.
made the motion. Motion and Commissioner Lockie, second by Commissioner Hill. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Motion carried 5-0. Okay, now, moving right along to public hearing. Miss Wendy, we'll go into public hearing right now. Miss Wendy?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
On August 20th, 2020, we received a request for a general development order for ddcu Bottling Company. The request is for a 27,500 square foot bottling facility for a total impervious area of 59,124 square feet. The proposed facility will be located on the southwest corner of Highway 162 and Holy Neck Road in unincorporated Jackson County. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the development order on October 5th, 2020, subject to conditions in the staff report, which is dated September 21st. We are requesting a motion to approve the proposed general development order with 6 conditions listed in the staff report and authorization for the chairman to sign.
So move, Mr.
Nope.
Chairman.
Nope.
Nope.
Not yet. Okay, at this time, Fred, do we have anybody from public for or against this project?
If any member of the public would like to speak for or against this, they may use the *9 feature on if they're dialed in via telephone to unmute, or they may use the raise hand feature on screen via Zoom. All right, we've got one caller, XT1609. Please state your name for the record. Caller, you'll have to unmute yourself on your end. Mr. Chairman, we only have one person with their hand up, but their showing is muted on their end.
Okay. We'll give them just a little bit more and then we'll have to move on.
I want to repeat the process. To know how to tell them. Can you tell them how to do it again, Fred, just in case?
They should be able to hit, I don't know, I can't tell if they're called in via telephone or a computer. If they're on a computer, oh, they've unmuted.
Okay.
Okay. My name is Cleveland Cotton, and I live on Fieldcrest Circle, which is right off Holy Neck Road.
Okay.
My only concern is that we really don't know what the bottling plant is going to be doing. Are they going to build a big facility there, or is it going to be small? Or are they, how much water they're going to use? Because we have had water issues here in this area before with our wells and our pumps. And so I'm a little concerned about that.
Okay.
The only thing we know is that they're building a plant. We have no idea what.
They're building a 31,000 square foot. Whoa, wait a minute. No, let me back up. 59,000 square foot.
It's a 40,000 square foot plant. It's 100 by 400. And I don't remember the other stats on it. What's the size?
David.
David, can you speak to that for us? Get her some volume, water, whatever.
Yeah, actually, the building got reduced from the original plan. It's 27,500 square feet with 31,000 square feet of parking area there.
But they will be bottling water?
They'll be bottling water, correct.
Do you know how many gallons?
Their permitted withdrawal is 99,000 gallons per day at the site.
Will they be trucking in water?
No, they'll be
using the local
bottling
water
there, yeah. It's in close proximity to Waddell's Mill, so they'll be utilizing that as a water source, although it'll be utilizing it for a well on the site, because this site's only about 1,000 feet from Waddell's Spring.
So as far as the water consumption and the water permit, that's not by the county, that's issued by the Northwest Florida Water Management
Correct.
District. So we don't have any control over that.
That's correct, yeah. And it's actually a very minor amount of water compared to the permitted irrigation wells that are in that area.
Okay. Caller, do you have any more questions? I forgot your name, I'm sorry.
I would like to know how many people would be employed at this plant. Do they have any idea?
Employees?
Yes.
I don't know for certain, but I think it's in the 15 range. I think in the staff report, it may have indicated 9, but 9 to 15.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Cotton?
No, and due to the fact you said that you were not the ones that was the water, control of the water, so I think we're a little late for that though. But anyway, I appreciate your answers and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cotton. Fred, do we have anybody else on the line?
No other hands came up.
Okay. We'll now come out of public hearing, and what's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve this request.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Peacock, second by Commissioner Hill. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0. Okay, Miss Wendy, we'll go into the community development part.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We are requesting board approval to fill a vacancy of the Jackson County Planning Commission. Ms. Ann Jones has resigned her position, her at-large position. It was effective September 21st, 2020. And Ms. Jones provided 7 years of service to the people of Jackson County since March of 2013. She's been a faithful member who also served as vice chair. She's the owner-broker of Florida Showcase Realty in Mariana, and she will continue to serve Jackson County by focusing her talents on the real estate market. Her knowledge and expertise in real estate has been an asset to the Planning Commission. And so now we're requesting the board to consider a community member to be to fill the at-large Planning Commission vacancy.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we accept Jason Johnson. He was on the East Jackson County Community Development Group years ago. They've now officially dissolved. And so I make a motion, or at least the board entertain a motion to accept Jason Johnson as that vacancy.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to put Jason Johnson on the Planning Commission, and a second. That was by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Peacock. Any discussion?
Counting his fingers.
What?
He's counting his fingers.
He's counting his fingers. I thought I seen his hand. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0. Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know if Ms. Jones is on, but want to thank her for the board for many years of service, and we appreciate her time and effort. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, the next would be Ms. Wendy, bid approval and change of order policy.
Yes, sir. Requesting board approval to implement a bid approval and change order policy for ship administrators with the Planning Council. On March 12, 2019, the board approved formal bids to be approved by Emerald Coast Regional Council, and we're asking permission to implement a policy for the bid approvals by the Planning Council and to allow change orders to be approved under county procurement policies. The policy procedures expedite the completion of construction for the housing programs funded by the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, and they provide faster housing solutions for residents. And we're asking for a motion to implement a bid approval and change order policy for ship administrators with the Planning Council that's in agreement with us.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Well, yeah, we've done all that. So we'll move into other matters, which will be GP Strategies monthly update. Is that going to be Dan or you, John?
Good morning, board. How are you all this morning?
All right.
Excellent. So first page here is just giving the monthly snapshot of the monetary outlook for the program itself. I would like to move into the October project activities. We do have a lot going on. Hurricane Sally, we're right now doing some preliminary assessments of the road site inspections. We have a goal of roughly 25 sites per day, divvied up between 5 inspection teams. We did have some shortages yesterday as far as personnel because of some sickness and some other items that were going on, but we did accomplish 20 inspections. So we'll be tracking progress to work through the total sites that we have for dirt roads on that. Any questions on that? Okay. The ag concession building currently is working through construction. We're tracking as far as the end date for that project, sometime around the end of November, beginning of December, working through some submittal issues that we did get resolved yesterday. And we still have a couple back and forth items that we're going that could potentially affect critical path, but we're keeping a close eye on that and making sure that we're not slipping because of those submittals. The admin building, we do have an update since this report went out. The actual start date of selective demo, which is going to be in the near the corridor and near some of the office areas, is going to begin tomorrow. So it's pretty exciting to see that the start time for the admin is actually beginning this week. So that's great. Neil's Landing and Cypress is still with CRA in developing an adequate proposal for design phase for that. So we're still working with CRA to get that developed and to get a reasonable price for those services. PPDR, since the report was issued, we actually have 16 properties completed. And what I call complete is debris removed, the tickets evaluated by by Thompson, and are QA'd to be processed. So there may be some discrepancies between what DRC considers complete. But like I said, we're looking at it as everything's approved. We've got 16 properties currently that are signed and done to date. 4399 emergency signs. FEMA is still evaluating the inspections that they performed. Currently, we've got a meeting scheduled this Friday to see where they're at. We have engaged the state to try to push that along, but we've been told every time that FEMA is still evaluating, and they will let us know as soon as they are done with the scope of the emergency signs. FEMA 4399 road inspections, that was completed. And right now, we are working with Alday Howell and Phillips Engineering to validate the scope differences between what was sent back to us by FEMA. So right now we're doing that evaluation, but as it looks right now, a lot of the scope that was in the project has not been changed. So that's good. We should be wrapping that up this week as far as that comparison and getting that scope move forward for the project. Citizens Lodge, working with ACRO to make sure that that project tracks to the completion on the 31st of October. That is to support the critical task and event of having it as a poll location So we're keeping a close eye on that, working, like I said, with ACRO to make sure that that supports the county. 4177 road construction is to start tomorrow. There was a scope validation of the roads that were affected by Hurricane Sally, and the current scope of roads slated for 4177, just to make sure that there was no duplication of benefits and that the scope stayed the same. As it sits right now, the evaluation is complete, and there is no additional scope that needs to be added or subtracted from 4177 because of Hurricane Sally. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
4177, where are we on the extension?
The extension was, yes, sir. The extension was submitted roughly 2 weeks ago. And it is in the process of being approved.
And on this PPP RD?
Yes, sir.
Has everyone been notified that they're going to remove stuff from their property?
So the right-of-ways were issued with all of the citizens. The way that Thompson is making the notifications is to give them a 1 to 2 week notice prior to them coming out to the property. Okay. So yeah, they didn't want to blast it out to everybody and then everybody start calling, how come my property hasn't been addressed? So okay, that's what the, yes, sir. All right.
Any more questions?
All right.
Don't have any questions?
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Also, I included a project timeline as well, just to kind of give a visual for project start and ends. We'll be adding to that list as projects become active. And then also showing the ag concession building and some of the progress that's been made out there as well. So making a lot of progress.
Dan, on the Cypress Park, you said they're in the work. What kind of time frame we have on that?
I can get back with you on that. Yes, CRA has a lot of proposals in their queue right now, including, which I didn't include on this report, but road and bridges building as well. So Scotty's provided the basis for the build on that, and CRA's got about 4 or 5 different proposals in their queue right now. But I will follow back up with you today on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that completes the agenda. We'll go to the round table. Glad to see you here.
Thank you.
Miss Michelle Smith. Okay, Miss Willan.
I just have one thing that did not make it on the agenda, but I would like to get it taken care of. DRC contacted me about an amendment to their contract. It's really just a matter of clarification for FEMA, and they reviewed it. They would like us to adopt an amendment that clarifies the amount. It's literally just cleaning up a little language that was confusing on stump sizes. And then also to clarify that there's an option for the debris going to final disposal because it was not spelled out. So I know it's not in front of you, but Michelle has it. And so subject to attorney approval, we'd like you all to consider signing that amendment.
From what I understand, there was some language in there that said, I'm making up this number, up to 50 and 50 and above. And they want to change, I mean, that's not acceptable. It's got to go up to 49.99 and then from 50,
not
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So move it, Chairman.
And I did approve.
Okay. We got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Peacock. Any more questions? The attorney said she approved it. Hearing none. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried 5-0. Okay. Anything
That's all
else?
I had.
Commissioner Peacock.
Is Scotty on the line?
He is not.
The only thing I have was going to ask him about when they were going to do my emergency culvert on Camellia Acres.
He had a deposition or something,
Mhm.
so you'll have to call it.
Okay,
He is here in the building. You could probably speak to him.
okay.
Okay. Commissioner Lockie,
Nothing.
nothing. Commissioner
I got
Hill.
a couple of things. There are 1990 planning zoning, thing submitted to the state on building requirements on parcels of land dictates that, some of the parcels in, I guess, the southeast part of Jackson County can only be 1 to 20 acres. Mr. Terry Whitehead has run into some issues. He bought 8 acres. It requires 20 to build on if he didn't know. So anyway, I'd like to make a motion. We waive the fees for that process. As I understand, it has to go through, we'll answer the state for 60 days for them to review it. Nightmare. So anyway, I'd like to make a motion. We waive the fees that he's gonna have to.
Second.
Okay.
I don't have a total. Do we have a, what we know about?
Yeah,
How
what's
much-
the-
$750.
The 750. I know he's contacted several.
Okay.
Even at the state level, I think he's called now, in opposition to this, plan from 1990.
And that's on the east side?
Yes, on the southeast, part. It's actually a little community called Sinai, and it's right there by Gulf Power. It's probably within a half a mile through the woods of Sinai. And he bought some property and, house
I wonder
plans,
why.
understand.
So it's
We
not,
need to fix
either, that is where the majority of it is, but it's in Ag 1, which is the land use, which is Ag 1, 20 acres per, one dwelling unit per 20 acres. And the reason why that is that way is in 1990, most of those areas were timberland. And so they went in and they identified areas that we wanted to preserve as timberland. Well, as I was telling Commissioner Peacock, I think we'll probably start seeing this come up a lot because of Hurricane Michael. There will be places developed that would have never been developed. So it is something we need to have on, on the horizon that we're probably going to deal with more often than we would have.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? We got a motion and a second on the floor. Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Peacock. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0.
And also just, and finally, several roads I want to use, the money we approved in last budget for liming, and those roads are Waldo Cemetery, Pfeiffer Road, McDaniel Trail, Cascade Lane, and Mears Road. And that's to be used for lime. They're not on the FEMA project, so this is the ones that, was done, I guess, by the dirt, but we get a scope change, go to lime, and so I'd like that.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Lockie. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0.
That's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner Spires.
Yes, sir. In our previous discussion, we talked about the amount of funding that would be necessary to pave Valley Oak and Bump Nose Road. And this is just a rough figure. I'm hoping that I'll have approximately $35,000 to $37,000 left. And I would like permission from the board to expend those dollars at my discretion based upon what roads need improvements on my list that I had already submitted.
Second. Out of your 1 point, okay. We got a motion. Do I hear a second?
I thought yours was.
Well, yours was a motion, yours second.
Yeah, I'm seconding his motion.
Okay. That's out of your 1.187. You think it's going to?
Right now, I'm hoping that there will be approximately $7,000 left over.
Okay.
And I'd like to expend that at my discretion.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. So, any more discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign, motion carried 5-0.
Thank you all.
Okay. Mr. Rooks. Ms. Danielle.
I have been presented with an invoice for Ajax Building Corporation for $54,858.03. They're asking for us to pay out the retainage. There's 5% on this contract, and they're going to bring you at the next meeting the final change order, close out, the whole shebang.
the work is all done.
It's all complete.
It's all just been held up with paperwork.
At the courthouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Spires. Would we normally pay out before
I
that?
have to have your permission to do it.
Yeah,
and
but-
I did verify with them that all the work is done. I
Okay.
tried to get them to get it in. for it to
Did
be
you ask
finalized.
them if the work was done, or did you ask whoever's in charge of the project?
Paul, the architect on the project, as well as Amber.
Okay.
But this is not normal. and
Yeah, that's what I was asking, because you usually hold that to make sure everything's done.
Yeah,
But they've been done
but
for
their
a while
bond,
too.
their
haven't
bond still, this does not
I've been
close out.
trying to get a closeout, sorry.
Okay. Their bond still is attached. If they do something wrong, we still have access to their bond.
Okay. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried, 5-0. Anything else? Okay, Sheriff? Hunter, anything else? Okay, meeting's adjourned.